So, and then for the judicial branch, we would say that their main job, obviously, is to interpret laws. And the way that they do that is by hearing cases and then conducting what is known as judicial review. So, whether or not a law is constitutional is what their responsibility for determination is. Now, sometimes the Supreme Court will have a judicial restraint sort of slant where they're really interpreting things to the letter of the law and what is specifically written in the Constitution. Sometimes instead of a judicial restraint slant, they'll have a judicial activist sort of slant. And that will lead to justices taking into account more of the issues of the day, so to speak. So what is an issue in society? For example, right now we could say gay marriage is something that is a big issue in society today, especially within the United States. So they're reviewing these laws for constitutionality, so we definitely want to include all of that. And then their checks and balances. For example, legislative branch can check the judicial branch by approving the nominees that the president brings forth or denying them. They can also impeach justices that are on the Supreme Court and remove them from office. It's a rarity, but it's certainly allowable constitutionally. And so in these ways, we could say that the legislative branch is checking judicial. So for our summary, I would say that it interprets the laws, the judicial branch does, and that their checks and balances can occur from the legislative branch in those ways that we talked about.
Okay, and those summaries are really good because you have really in-depth specific information here, and then you summarize it pretty succinctly at the end.
Right.
Okay, and so the last step is summarizing the duties across the branches.
So in a democracy, in order to make things run efficiently and effectively, we need to have laws. And so the legislative branch makes those, the executive branch carries them out, the judicial branch interprets them. And so as a whole, these three branches, among other things, they allow our democratic society to function without chaos. And that having these checks and balances in place the way that we do allows the system to work without there being some sort of power issue or lack of balance between them. Kind of the way I like to look at it and explain it to students is the engine of allowing our society to function is lubricated by or made possible through checks and balances.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure.